Hey guys, and welcome back. D Free here, of course. I feel like it's like obligatory to say it, like it's an obligation, but you already know. You know what? I won't say that because sometimes people click on, they're like, "Hi, so and so," and I'm like, "Okay." Anyway. I feel like it's been a little bit of time since I've done a update video, and in terms of what you guys are gonna see, I typically would just leave these like kind of black or put up a picture. I'll probably just put some gameplay. The gameplay has no relevance to what I'm talking about. It's just I can't really put anything else really up there. Been a while since I've done an update video, and the first thing I'll say is, no, this isn't some sort of like doom and gloom video or anything like that. It's just wanted to open up a little bit because it's been a while. If you've been a long time subscriber, and not just like the last couple of years, I mean long, because I've had my channel since like 2015. I've been uploading since like then, especially if you've been here since then. But even 2017 or so, you have probably seen me do a number of, I'm not a lot, but like 7 or 8, maybe 6. Anyway, a number of these videos in the past where I just kind of explain kind of things that are going through my head, going on in my life, etc. a little bit, to kind of let you guys know that the person behind the mask, really the screen, the videos, is still human, right? I think that sometimes we can kind of get out of that. You know, you watch so much of somebody's content, you forget that they're also human. So for me, I want to just start off by saying that I really, really genuinely appreciate all of you guys that tune in to the channel and tune in consistently, watch a lot of the videos. It is amazing that I've seen some of you guys here for a long time. Like YouTube has this little feature now where it tells you how long somebody's been subscribed, and it's very easy to see. Like whenever I'm going through my comments, I can see it like right there next to your name. And I just hover over it and it says 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever. And that feature is useful, but a lot of people I just recognize. I recognize because I respond to a lot of my comments. I always have. At least I've always tried to. And I recognize some of you guys from a really long time. And that genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, means a lot to me that you guys have rode with me this long and found something that I'm doing to be beneficial to you in some way, whether it's entertainment or maybe my content. I've heard people say, I'm not trying to say this like as some sort of like, oh, I'm this type of person, but I've heard some people say that, like, you know, my content has helped them through some tough times. And if that's you, I am taken aback and I'm humbled, and I'm very happy to have been able to help you in that capacity, right? And like I was saying a minute ago, this isn't some sort of I'm quitting YouTube video. That's not really where we're going. I still have a lot of fight left in me. I still have things that I want to see accomplished, things I want to do with the channel. But I am here to also give a little bit of an update with the channel. And to just be completely honest, the channel hasn't been doing good for like the last like year and a half, maybe 2 years. It hasn't really been doing good for the past 2 years. I feel like I've stagnated, and thus in stagnating, haven't been able to not even, so at a point it stagnated, but it's been in a decline. It's more so what I'm trying to say. My numbers in terms of like growth of the channel and all that stuff are still really good, actually. Like the channel's still growing, but I'm not seeing that translate to the content. The content itself is declining, but the channel is growing. It's funny how that works. But anyway, so for me, that is and can be very not humbling, because that's true, but that's not the word I'm looking for. That can be very detrimental to my mental health, I guess, to kind of put it more bluntly. Sometimes, if I'm going to be just completely honest opening up like a book here. Sometimes I just look at it and I honestly shed a couple tears. It's really hard to say that, but it can kind of really get me down in the dumps. And I'm not an emotional person. I'm not somebody that's ever really been like that. But it sometimes can really, really get to me. And it really started messing with my own mental health, the way that my channel is going on. And I know that there are way bigger problems in the world, right? This is just a me thing. I'm sure some of you guys are struggling with way crazier things that I can't even comprehend. So it's just a me thing. But it got to a point for me personally where it was like, I had to just disassociate myself from, not disassociate, but I had to just remove myself from seeing things that would kind of mess with my headspace. Like my friends' content. I couldn't see like, I'm happy for them, but I couldn't see my friends doing great and my channel's videos not doing anywhere near what they used to. Not even like comparatively to what my friends are doing, but like what my videos themselves used to do. Like, because always had been the case where I would put out a lot of videos and they would hit 30K, 40K. I never really had a channel that had every video hitting 75, 100, 100K like Nano typically did for, I don't know if he still is like that, because like I said, I have to unsub from all my friends. I love them. I saw them recently. I hang out with them when I can. I talk to them when I can. We have separate lives. I have kids, things like, but it's nothing personal. It's just for me, right? But yeah, like I never was that person. I would always get 30K, 50, 40, 60, maybe 70, every now and again 100. Like I'm not that type. So like even there would be fine if that was kind of what was happening. But now it's more like it's a good video if I'm hitting like 15. It's just for context, which is like literally half. Literally half. So like it can get me down, man. It can get me down. And especially when like I have a streak. And I think some of this is too, and in fact I know some of this is too, is choosing to create content in this niche. The thing is, despite being probably the original content creator for Legends on YouTube, I know that's kind of like a thing to say. Like, I don't know every single person, but I have been making Legends content since the day the trailer dropped, and I did videos on all of the interviews, all of the information that came out, all the little trickles in like V-Jump. I did content all the way up before it even released. So as probably, if not the original content creator, you would think that would always matter, but it doesn't, right? It doesn't always matter. And so I think that despite that being the case, choosing to make content in this niche has contributed greatly to it, because I think that a lot of people will say, oh, everybody can be successful. And I think to an extent, everybody can. But I think what kind of winds up happening is a lot of people are just going to gravitate. You guys, and this is nothing, obviously I'm not mad at anybody in particular. A lot of people are just going to gravitate to the same channels. And so what that means is my content doesn't do anything. And it's like, it doesn't really matter what I do within my content. Like, I've been putting a lot more edits in my videos. I don't know how many people have noticed that recently. It's kind of hard for me to really sit down and do that, though. It's just, I have a lot of obligations outside of YouTube. Like, I can only sit at my computer for like an hour a day. Seriously. Anyway, I've been doing other, it doesn't really matter what I do in my videos. It just doesn't really change all that much. It doesn't matter if I, to put bluntly, clickbait or don't. It doesn't matter what I do. It feels like I'm boxed in and there's not really much way for me to improve. And that's why I say it can sometimes, looking at it, it's kind of like you feel good about a video and then you put it out and it's like, I enjoy the content that I made and I enjoy the people that really enjoyed it, because you can tell in my videos I stop. It's not like I don't enjoy playing Legends. It's not like I'm playing YouTube, or it's not like I'm doing YouTube for just for the money or anything like that, like superficial. I enjoy the game. And I would have branched out a lot sooner. If you've been a long-time subscriber, you've seen me do so many games on this channel. not just Dragon Ball, but what inevitably happens is people will watch one thing and they'll ignore everything else. If you were here for Dokkan, you were ignoring me doing Danmachi, you were ignoring me doing Digimon, you were ignoring me playing console Dragon Ball games, even though my channel started with Xenoverse. You were ignoring me doing all these other things that I've done. And ultimately that led to me creating a second channel where I would put my MISC games, but it's a lot harder to have obligation when I don't have a lot of time. So that's kind of what inevitably happens. And so I would have branched out sooner. But it feels like there's not really an avenue for that. And it feels like there's not really much way for me to continue. I don't know. I said initially, like, I still have a lot of fight left in me because I've been resilient. Like I said, my channel has been on not doing good for like 2 years. And I've been pushing and I've been pushing and pushing and I've done basically everything. But it doesn't seem to stabilize. It actually picked up a decent bit during the anniversary. Oh, this is what I was going to say too. It also picked up a decent bit during the anniversary. I was hitting my numbers. Like, I would have a video every now and again hit like 40 or 50, which is really, really good for me. Like, I can probably count on, 3 hands. I don't have that, you know what I'm saying? I could probably less than 15 videos that have done that in the last like year and a half. That have done over 50K. That number gets really small, right? But so I had some videos hit really well. Some guide videos, which always age well. If you want to just get like some long-term views, you do a guide video and that video will age really, really well. They'll always pick up views, like passively, like a month, they'll pick up a few thousand, this and that. They'll always pick up passive views. But I think since the anniversary is over and the game is really dry right now, this is what I was going to say. It's contributing to people not really caring much about the game right now. And also the meta is there too. And so what happens there is that crunch gets tighter. I already talked about the crunch where it's like, okay, well, Legends got this or that. And it's like, okay, well, I've got 5 videos in my sub box all about this same topic. Nothing you can really do about that. I guess you just have to unsubscribe from so many channels. But anyway, and it's like, okay, well, who am I going to watch it? I'll watch this channel, that channel, maybe this channel, and that's it. Right? That's it. The other ones are going to get ignored. And unfortunately, most of the time, my video is the one going to get ignored. It's part of the reason why, and I started to try to do it a little bit more. There hasn't been much recently. I'm not sure if I'll continue doing it. It's part of the reason why I don't do as much of those quick hitter news videos anymore. Because they would start off super good and then get ignored when other people upload their news videos, right? I could be the first one to it. Doesn't really matter if you're first or not, always. It doesn't always matter. It matters if there's actual competition, but if there's no competition, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the reason why. And then for me, it was like, oh, news is coming out when I'm about to get in bed, and I've got to take my kids to school in the morning, and it's like, do I really want to get out of bed right now? Things like that. When I know the payoff isn't worth it. That's also why I stopped also doing my late night showcases, because what I was seeing was I was staying up until 1, 2, 3 o'clock, needing to get up to take my daughter to school in the morning and, do my actual day in a few hours. And I would be first, I would be second, whatever the case is, to a video upload, and it wouldn't matter. I'd come back and check my numbers as soon as I got the chance around noon the next day, and I'd be like, oh. So I just realized it wasn't. So I stopped it. And it's like, and those are the types of decisions that I've made, for better or worse, with my channel, for better or worse with my mental health, right? I haven't really talked much about this. I mentioned it a little bit, but I moved away. YouTube is tough when you look at your content as a number or as numbers. It's really hard. And so people will say, oh, don't do that, or oh, don't do that. And you can not do that. You can avoid that. You can ignore that up to a point, because it becomes a point, because there's incentive involved. Like, it's like, okay, I'm making a third of what I used to make just for knowledge on that. I mean, still thousands a month, but it's a third or something like that of what I used to make in my channel's prime. Maybe actually it's like less than a quarter of what I used to make on my channel's prime. Anyway, yeah, YouTube can pay a lot of money if you have a good, successful channel. I said I still make thousands a month, not 1 or 2 or 3. I still make thousands a month. Anyway, just YouTube. Anyway, so with that being the case, just YouTube, you know, there is incentive, right? I'm not opposed to going to get an actual job, like a regular job. It's been a long time. I'm not opposed. I haven't had one since like 2016. But like, YouTube gets really hard and stressful and can really get you down. At least that's been my experience. I don't know if a lot of people have, especially if you have a channel that's relatively new and has done successful and you haven't actually hit that low yet. Because you can ride that wave and you can ride that high, but inevitably, eventually, there does come a low. That doesn't mean you can't recover from that. It doesn't mean you can't be successful after that, anything like that. But inevitably, there is a dip, right? And so I'm not really sure when it also becomes like, I feel like also in my videos, if I look at my analytics, a lot of them also, it's not really coming from being pushed out. A lot of the views are coming from people that are subbed, right? So there's that. And then the sub thing is just a whole other thing, because I've done so many other things. People have subbed for so many things like Dokkan or Legends or whatever. So it's just all over the place. So I don't really care much about my sub count. But despite the channel still growing somehow, like I said, but I have literally sat at my desk and thought about the things I have to do as a provider and ways I'm not able to as much as I used to, and been moved to tears. It's just happened. So I'm going to conclude this, but what I am going to say is I just wanted to air this out because it's something I've been holding on to for a while. I mean, a couple years. Share that insight. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to give it one last, really hard push. I'm not going to start I don't want to say never. I'm not planning on starting a new channel and moving my content there or anything like that. I'm going to give it one last hard push. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. And if it's not, then I've had a great run. It's not like I have any regrets. It's been like, what, 8 years? I have no regrets. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. But long story short, if the channel isn't doing great, it's really not worth the time. You know what I'm saying? It's really just not worth the time it takes. I could spend more time with my kids and my wife and figure out, you know, other things for myself. And so I'm going to give it one last really, really hard push. And so what that'll entail is, I can't promise a certain number of videos a day, a week, a month, but I am planning on upticking my content. I have actually kind of artificially been doing that by doing more discussion videos, but inevitably those videos do like half of the showcase videos. So it's kind of hard, but I will keep those going. I don't really plan on doing it because if nothing else, they're good content I could put out with not really like this one. I could just sit here and talk for 20 minutes, you know, but I am going to keep doing that. I am going to mix in a little bit more other content. I know there is some people that like that. But inevitably it's not going to do anywhere near as good. So it's like, it's more so like, that's why I don't do it as much. As like, okay, well, this is what works. Why not do what works, right? As opposed to what doesn't. But I am going to put out more content, whether that's Legends or not, whether that's showcases, news, discussions, topics, whatever, all these things. I am also going to try to collaborate. I've actually tried to collaborate with a few of my friends. It's just hard to do because timing and everybody has their own lives. It's like, for example, it's particularly hard to collab with Koresh. I feel like I'm bugging him, so I don't really bring it up to him much anymore, but it's kind of hard to collab with him because he moved to Japan. So it's like, and me and Rai haven't been able to hit the same schedule for like the last like few weeks. So it's kind of hard. But I am going to try to do more collabs, try to push to more social media, because I feel like over the last year I haven't really been using my platforms away from YouTube to drive my content as well, and that's probably something that has contributed to not doing as well. Whether it's a few hundred views, 1,000 views, that does add up and does help, right? So you've seen in my videos the QR code. You probably see it now, I'm not sure. You can scan that and find my social links. I'm creating other platforms as well, and I will make a commitment to sit down and post content to them. And I don't know about exclusivity for content and what I'll do for content on those platforms, whether it'll be the same or it'll be snippets or shorts. Exclusivity, I don't know, but that is also something that I do have planned. So open to suggestions for things you guys think I should do. I know kind of the answers I'm going to get because I've asked in community posts, for example, before. But I want to say once again before we conclude, I really, really appreciate everybody that's been here, and supporting the channel. And if you haven't, no hard feelings. I'm not mad, like I said, at anybody in particular. I understand the game. I understand how it works. I understand if I do the same content. The funny thing is, whether I do something different or not, it still kind of is the same thing. But regardless, I understand it. You know, if 5 of us put up a video with a Gohan showcase because he's new, I'll probably be at the bottom of the totem pole. Hopefully I can eventually find a way to fix that through some recommendations you guys have, but I understand the game, so I'm not mad at anybody. And this isn't a plea, a begging you to do anything. I understand. I just wanted to air it out because I've done this in the past, and hopefully it makes me feel better. Hopefully it makes me feel better. And I also wanted to give you the update on what I'm planning to do, like I just did a moment ago. But one last hard push. I don't know how long that push will be. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, but if I see I can't get any better, then I'll just call it. All right, guys, hope you all enjoyed hearing me talk. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Stay tuned.